Like me and Manveer Singh said before, that this is one of the best camps, it's probably the best camp I've ever been to in terms of organisation, in terms of how well behaved the students were, how they were willing to learn and stuff. So the class is aimed here to educate young people about Sikh history, about Gurmat Rath, about what does Guru Sahib say about Sikh in Gurbani, and also what happened in our history. What's our history based on? Also, we'll look at answering questions and stuff. It won't just be me giving the answers. There's lots of people here, a lot more knowledgeable than me, who can give you answers as well. And one thing I think is good to do is that you're all from this local area. So what I want to try and do is put you as a group together. And so you're communicating with each other, as opposed to, look, I'm living 200 odd miles away from here, so I can't come up here all the time. So you need to really build a strong unit within yourselves and stuff. So you're encouraging more and more people to come to Sikhi. So finally, we're going to look at trying to give you some practical steps about how to build your Gursikhi lives and how to become a bit more stronger in Gursikhi. What I will say is that myself, only a few years ago, I started keeping my gears, and then I took on with about just under 3 years ago. Before that, I used to be into everything, like partying. My brother's a DJ. I used to be a DJ as well, and I used to be a door player with him. We used to go around up and down the country doing different programs and stuff. And I always tell this funny story is that I realised when it's my time to change that, because I started doing Sangat, but my brother used to say that, oh, come on, I need you to come and, because I used to do MC for him as well, he goes, I need you to come and MC for me at this programme or something, not programme, this, I keep saying programme now, I need to come and MC at this gig that I've got. And it got to the point that I had to hold myself out. So I was starting to get worried that I'm going to start saying Waheguru on the stage. So I thought, I'm going to have to stop this now. So from there, I realised that this is the path that I need to take. My brother still does his DJ, and all my family, they're all Morne and stuff. Even in all my relatives and all that, they're all Morne. None of them are into Gursikhi. So the reason why I'm telling you that is because that you may be in a similar situation. You may be stuck in a life whereby you feel that you can't progress in your Sikhi. You may be stuck in a life where you think that, how can I try to move forward? You may be doing things that you feel are against Guru's path, against Guru's recommendations. But what we're trying to do in these classes, as I said, try to give you as much information as possible, and hopefully inspiration to try to follow the path a bit more. Okay, so why have we done this class? Why have we put it on? I did mention that some guys from the camp, some kids from the camp, they said that there was no classes for 16 plus. There were things for obviously olders in Punjabi. You have older Gursikh coming, and people come from India or something, Qatar. And you have little kids' class and stuff. But I spoke to Bhai Sahib and some of the other Gursikhs and said that, well, why don't we just start looking at this age group? Reason being, because I teach this age group. I'm a college lecturer, and I deal with 16 to 20 every day. Okay? So I deal with their problems, I deal with their issues at home, I deal with how to get them through their education, how to help them to cope with their lives, with all the challenges that they face. And 16-year-olds plus, 17, 18, teenagers, going on to 20s, they're very impressionable. And potentially, they're a very dangerous age in terms of like Banjor and Maya, which is what we're going to. If you don't know what these things are, we'll go into these in the coming classes. So what we're trying to do is, whatever stage you're taking next, whether it be university, going into a job, you might be starting college or sixth form environment, where there's going to be a lot of pressure on you to try to fit in with society, try to fit in what people do. What do? People go out, people have relationships, these kind of things. So what we're going to try to do is infuse you with enough confidence, first of all, to be able to make the right decisions, or make the decisions that you want to make. And also at the same time, we're going to look to try and teach you what does Guru Sahib say in this way. You'll face many dangers in the next few years of your life, if you probably started already, with things like drugs, smoking, alcohol, conversions, superstitions. All these things will have come at you in some shape or form. They may come at you from family members, they may come at you from your friends. But we'll talk about friends in a moment as well. So who's going to be doing it and when? Some of this information you probably already know. Me, Manveer Singh, and Dr. Rajinder Singh, who's a local Sewardar, we'll be doing the classes on a two-week basis. So every 2 weeks. So from now, in 2 weeks' time, there'll be, I think, Bhai Sahib going to be doing, then Dr. Rajinder Singh is going to do it after 2 weeks after. And from, like I said, it's very much a trial. We'll see how things go on, and from there, we'll make decisions about how we need to adapt it, or whether we feel that it's going to be worthwhile. But what I will say is, please do encourage, if you get something from this, not only should you come next time, you should encourage other people, your family members, to come along. You know, we'll try and adapt it as much as possible. But one thing I do need to mention is that it's quite important that we don't put youngsters off this class by start talking about things that are maybe not relevant to them, or start to maybe, some people maybe don't understand Punjabi. This is the only form of sort of Sikhi understanding that they get. So it's quite important that we try to keep it either just English, or there's a fair enough balance from English and Punjabi, because I know that previous talks that I've been to and done, they were aimed at youngsters, but then because I saw a few elders there, I started talking in Punjabi, and then the youngsters completely switched off because they didn't understand. So I think what's important is that for the elders as well, this is mainly saying that this class is mainly for 16 plus, so we want to try to aim at that group as much as possible, because obviously the main Gurdwara, Diwans and these kind of things, they're already catering for the needs, let's say, for the elders, and the youngsters have a Sikhi class that happens here. So this, we have to try to get in touch with these this age group. Okay, we'll get special guest speakers and different people, so you don't get bored of us. We get them to come now and then to try to give you further understanding, and also to give some variation. So, first of all, okay. I should have put a roller coaster video on there. That would have got you all going. Okay. What I want to talk about today is very much just to give you some thoughts about where we've come from and why we're here on the earth. Because everyone has an answer why we're here on the earth. Doesn't matter if they're atheists, doesn't matter what religion they're from, everyone's got an answer. We're here for this purpose, whatever. And everyone's got their understanding. But we come here and we bow ourselves to Guru Granth Sahib Ji. We bow down to Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and we say that Guru Granth Sahib Ji is our Guru. Most people that come to this darbar, or come to Gurdwara nowadays, Guru Granth Sahib Ji is not their Guru. Okay? That might surprise some of you. But most people that do Matha Tek here to Guru Granth Sahib Ji, or do Matha Tek in any Gurdwara, Guru Granth Sahib Ji is not their Guru. Okay? A Guru is there to follow. A Guru is there to understand what they're saying and then follow it. That's what the Guru is for. If we're not doing that, then if we're not following what Guruji is saying, then who are we following? Because whoever we're following, that's who we've made into our Guru. So we have to think in our lives, who are we following? Are we following what Guru Granth Sahib Ji says? If we're following that, then that means that Guru Granth Sahib is our Guru. If we're following what other people have said, or other books, or other things, so then we've made them into our Guru. Okay, it could be relatives, could be, some people read some books of other people have written about, sort of some inspiration books or some motivations, or some people may be following some kind of superstition that they hear from a person. Okay? But who are we following? That's the key thing. Guru says, this is why we're here. Ao sunan paran ko bani. We've come here to listen, first of all. Listen, paran ko bani. We come here to listen and we come here to read Bani. Then what's happened? Naam visar lage an lalach betha janam parani. We've forgotten Vaheguru's name. We've forgotten to do Simran. Because the only real message, the main message in Gurbani is Simran karna, Naam japana. But what's happened? Dunya de rang tamashe dekh ke, looking at the wonders of the world, all these wonderful things that we see with our eyes. And I'm going to talk about our sensory organs. That's going to be the main purpose of today. We've taken all this stuff in from the world, and then we've forgotten Vaheguru's name. We've forgotten to do Simran. Lage an lalach. Lalach is greed. We've become to get in touch with these temptations. Okay? We've become attached to these different temptations, the worldly temptations that we have, and betha janam parani. They've wasted our lives away. So how we wasted our lives away? You think a person, take an old person and look at their life. Look at their life from birth to where they are now. Has this happened to them? What has their life revolved around? What things have they done in their life? More often than not, it's going to be that they've given into these temptations and betha janam parani. They wasted their life away. So the main reason why we were here, we came here to listen and we came here to read Gurbani, but that's what's happened. Okay? So, where did it go wrong? There's a shabd in Gurbani, hopefully you can all see this, that talks about Maya in the Nityanem that we do, Anand Sahib. See, Anand Sahib, it talks about Maya. It says, Jaisi agar udar mein taisi bahar mai. Gurbani talks about that in the mother's womb. There's a fire. The mother's womb. There's like a fire in there. And Guruji says that just like that fire in the mother's womb, that's the same way that there's a fire outside. That fire is called Maya. And Guru Sahib in this Shabd talks about how a child is born. The child's born. When the child's born, just before they're born, they have that they have that connection with Vaheguru. They have that connection with Vaheguru. And when that person's born, the family starts to celebrate. That child's born, family celebrates. And slowly, that child, what is the first thing the child wants when it's born? It wants his mother's milk. Okay? So it has milk. Then it starts looking around at all these different things, all these different colors, and all these different people. And slowly, it becomes attached to these things. The child becomes attached. And their pyar, that love that they had, that connection that they had with the Kalapur, that breaks. Okay? And Guru Sahib says that, and then Maya runs its course. And then Guru explains, what is Maya? Maya ki Maya, jit har visre. That's Maya, where we forget God. Where we forget God and we attach ourselves to something else. Okay, now we have to think in our lives, what is that? What have we become attached to where we've forgotten God? We put our love into other things and our attachment to other things increases. For example, one basic example is like if we look at technology and people using sort of internet and these kind of things for hours and hours and hours, and before you know it, they're not waking up for their bath, they're not doing the same amount of simran that you used to be doing. So these things are making them fall away from the path. Okay? And we have to think, the reason why I'm saying this, I'm not just saying this is not just a talk where I'm just talking about Sikhi. This is about us all, and me included. I was at Khalsa camp this year, and this Gursikh doing a talk. He said that, when I do talks, he said that I don't do it for the Sangat, I do it for myself. He said, I do it for myself because I can hear what Guruji is saying. Okay? He says, I'm doing it for myself, so it gets me off my backside and I'm actually researching what's Guruji saying. And then I can deliver it to the Sangat and then I can talk to myself as well. Same here, don't think that I've clocked anything, because I haven't. So I'm here purely just to, a few things that I've learned from other Guru Sikh. My talks are just things that I've learned from other people. Okay? That might sound like, oh, well, I don't know nothing. Well, it's true, obviously. But at the same time, it's also a message to you to say that don't think that you have to be some big, great person to be able to stand on the stage here to do a talk or anything. Okay? Like, there's people here have been into Sikhi a lot longer than me, and they are a lot more knowledgeable than me and got a lot more understanding about Sikhi than me. But maybe they could all also be doing these talks as well. So don't think that anything should stand in your way. So Guru Amar Das Ji talks about Maya, so the distraction in this world that takes us away from God, that makes us forget God. And in your lives, you think about when you wake up in the morning, all the things you do to when you go to bed at night. And what is it? Because I was talking to this Guru Sikh and he said to me that sometimes, he says that I go to work and then I leave my work and I think to myself, oh my God, I didn't even remember Vaheguru even hardly for a second today, because he becomes so immersed in his work, so busy in his work, I didn't remember Vaheguru for even a tiny amount of time. So now he says, before I go to work, before I'm about to walk into the office, as I always do little ardas that, Vaheguru, please help me that I can even remember just for a little bit today, in my day, so I don't get so immersed in worldly things. Because Guruji says, Tanda kartya nefal janam gawaya, sukhdata manana vasaya. There's a shabd that comes up quite regularly in Hukumnama. It says, Maya mamta mohini jin vindanta jakhaya. That Maya, the Maya that we're talking about, this distraction, these temptations, that has, without even having teeth, is eaten away at the world. All these distractions, they've eaten away at the world. And in that shabd it says, Tanda kartya nefal janam gawaya. That person doing their worldly duties, what's worldly duties? Wake up, dropping off the kids, then going to work, going through work, then coming back from work, making food, sitting down, watching TV, sleep. Hey, that is it. That's the life that we'll have to follow. However, some people can live that life and still come out Sikh as well. That's pretty much everyone's life. Okay, who's a parent. But they can still do Sikhi commanding in that. Okay? So, I was talking about sensory organs. Now, our tongue, our ears, our eyes, our skin, from our touch, and our nose. These things, they will take in all the information to our brain. They'll take all the information into our brain. Now, example, you have a stimulus, you have something that, for example, you see. Now, I see Bhai Sahib in front of me. Now, I see him, and then from there, that stimulates in my eyes, and then receptors take that through my nerves to my brain, and that's stored in my brain, okay, through my eyes. Now, if we look at all these things, information that gets into our brain, it gets into our brain through these sources. Our tongue, from our tasting or our talking, through our ears, through our listening, through our eyes, through our seeing, through our touching, and through our smelling. There's a shabd there by Gurdas, there's a shabd, there's Akhi Vekhana Rajia Baurang Tamashe. That our eyes, they're never ever going to get tired by looking at all these things that are in the world, going around looking at all the things that are happening in the world. Our eyes are never going to get tired of that. Our ears are never going to get tired of hearing praising, hearing Nindya, all these things, hearing people cry, people laughing, all these things. Our ears are never going to get tired of these things. Our tongue's never going to get tired tasting all these different types of foods and all these kind of things. Okay? So, Guru Bhagavad in that same side said, Rajana koi jivya kure parvase. If we're putting our focus into all these things, then we're never going to get satisfied by doing all these things. No matter how many times we watch all these different programs and stuff, I'll talk about programs in a minute. We're never going to get legit. We're never going to be able to satisfy it. We're never going to be able to satisfy our eyes. We're never going to be able to satisfy our ears, nose. I know we're never going to get tired smelling nice things, smelling bad things. Never get tired. Okay? So, as I was saying, let's look at our eyes. Okay. Now, 80% of our information that is in our brain, 80% goes in through our eyes. Okay? Scientists proved that the 80% of the information that's in our brain, it goes in through our eyes. So the eyes, they're the most active muscles in the body, and also they can process 36,000 bits of information every second. So our eyes are, when my eyes are looking over here, it's processing lots and lots of information going into my head. Okay? So our eyes can process huge amounts of information. This is why when we see things, often they get these visions, they get stuck in our head. Okay? So whatever we take into our mind through our eyes, I'm going to say 80% of what's in our mind is coming through our eyes. That's an average, your average person. Now, sometimes when I go to camps, I get the kids to do Simran first of all. We do Simran for a few minutes and stuff, and then I ask them after, I say, oh, what was you thinking about when you do Simran? And one kid says, oh, I was thinking about Manchester United, and another one says, oh, I was thinking about wrestling, and thinking about having the it used to be WWF now it's WWE. Having the WWE belt on, that's what he thought, because I think he's got one at home. And other girl says, I was thinking about riding my bike. And don't worry, there are some kids that think about like some good Sikhi stuff and that, but I just try to pick on these other ones. And when you look at their lives are, that is plays a huge part in their life. The fact that wrestling, the fact that watching football, all these kind of things, they have a huge impact on their life. And then I tried to bring it into Gursikhi. I said, what were you supposed to be doing? They go, we're supposed to be remembering Vaheguru Guru doing Simran. I go, acha. So we're supposed to be doing Simran. And then I said, okay, and then I asked them, what does Vaheguru mean? They say, Vaheguru means that wonderful God, acha. So why is God wonderful? I asked them. And they say, oh, God's wonderful because He gave us everything, He looks after us, He feeds us, He does everything for us. Oh, okay, that's fine, that's very good. So, you're forgetting the one that does all these things for you over a computer game, or over riding your bike, all these things. I go, does that worry you? They don't really know what to say to that, but if you think of out, we'll do a bit of Simran in a moment, and I really want you to try to think about. The thing is that it's a bit, you can't really get a good understanding here, but when you do a Simran sitting at home, alhamdulillah, or you do try to sit down when you're doing Simran, you watch where your mind goes. One Guru Sikh says that your mind can go to India without even having passport, visa, nothing. Your mind goes straight there in a second. Straight to India, then straight to like China, all these places, your mind can just go like that. Okay? Without even having a passport. So why can these things happen, okay? So we'll do some Simran in a moment, and then we'll look at that. And think about where your mind goes to. But also I want you to try that at home as well. Does anyone know who this person is? You don't know? Anyone? All the kids know. Oh, yeah, who said that? Fat Albert, yeah, that's Fat Albert. I used to know him before he was famous now. He don't talk to me no more. I tried to ring him up the other day, but he don't answer his phone. I think he's changed his number. Okay, anyway, Fat Albert. So, let's look at Fat Albert in his stead, yeah? So, how are we feeding our sensory organs? Remember I was talking to you about these kids, yeah? Oh yeah, all the kids are all the time. Whenever we used to do Simran, the morning class with them, he always say, oh, what are you thinking about? Langar. That's what I think about, oh, pizza. The worst thing that can happen when you're doing Simran with kids, or you're doing a class with kids, is that the smell comes down from the langar hall. That's really bad. That's it, no more concentration there. Okay, so let's think about how we are feeding our sensory organs. If we look at here, so how we, what kind of things are we taking into our eyes? What things are we taking into our ears? The TV is obviously a big one. Obviously, prior to Sikh channel being Sangha TV, well nowadays, Sangha TV and Sikh channel is just like the same Punjabi channel anyway. I put it on, I don't really learn anything. Before it used to be a bit more sort of, some kirtan on and some part and that. Now they just get some old Buddha and talk about like problems and stuff. Obviously that there will be TV in it, but there's a time and place as well. My mum used to watch. She used to watch a lot of Sikh channel. Like she goes, beat whatever target like when we're supposed to be we're like eating, when we're eating, we don't want to like listen to old Buddha talking about problems. We want to like listen to some nice kirtan, like make our food a little bit pavitra. So so TV. I always say to the kids, Jal, I don't want to get into politics and that, so I just say to the kids, you should watch Sikh channel and send it to you, very important. So these are the kind of things that kids talk about when they are what take up most of their time. So things like wrestling, mobile phones obviously, Facebook, family, football, computer games, the internet and food and these kind of things. So if you think about our lives, or you think about breaking down our days and stuff, how much of this do we have interaction with? How much of this is a part of our life? Because a lot of youngsters nowadays they spend a lot of time on the computer, and they spend a lot of time in front of the TV. They spend a lot of time on their mobile phones. And more often than not, their mobile phone becomes like their they run their life by their mobile phone, so they can't even live without it. If a kid, I'm not joking, if a kid at college forgets their mobile phone at home, they'll go home. They don't mind missing the whole day's lessons. They'll go home and get it. Okay, and when they come to your lesson 1 hour late, say what happens? Oh, I forgot my phone at home. Forget about anything else like pen. No, I ain't gonna have pen. Look, pen. What am I gonna do with a pen? As long as I got my phone. Some of them, they won't even like wear socks or nothing. They say, oh, I forgot to put them on. Oh, but I got my phone. The phone is the main thing. The phone is honestly. So, and I'm seeing youngsters when they're working as well, and in the computer rooms, literally is this. Bit of typing, message. 20 seconds of typing is like 3 minutes of texting. Another 26. There was research done, and they said that misuse of a mobile phone can cause a person's grade to fall by 2 grades. So a person who was on an A, them misusing their mobile phone can go down to a C, at an average. Okay, so that's it. You have a look. You go to colleges. You go even if you got young kids or something yourself, you might know yourself as well. You get a message. That's it. Forget a part. Message, no, message, part. So message comes in the part as well. Okay. So then when they're doing the part again, they're still thinking about the message, waiting for a reply. Yeah. So unfortunately, this is how we've become. We've become slaves to that mobile phone. In these shorty, you know my wife, yeah, she's really scared. Is it recording? Oh, it is. My wife, she's really scared of spiders. It can be like, I can't even see it. It can be that small, but she still says, oh my God, there's a spider. She calls me from downstairs. And I come down, I go, that's 1/100000th of your size. What are you scared of it for? But in that mobile phone, it's that small, and it takes over our lives as well. I don't encourage you to use that example anyway, but I just came into my head, so I thought I'd use it. Okay, so this is how we're feeding our sensory organs. Facebook, kids nowadays, even in this camp as well, they were talking about computer games and how much time that takes up in their day. Then think about why do people play computer games? I think, look, by the way, I'm not knocking these things really. There's obviously some positives in some of them, but we'll look at that in a moment as well. So if you look at computer games, like some of these like Call of Duty and shooting games and nicking cars and breaking up cars and driving it. Some people do crimes and they say that, oh yeah, I learned this from this computer game. Honestly. And a lot of our youngsters, they're playing these kind of games that are taking up their time. And remember what I said about the eyes, how these eyes are absorbing all these images, all these messages, and they're sticking into their heads. And when they try to do Simran, or try to do Part, that's the reason why they can't concentrate. Honestly, that's the reason. The reason why they can't concentrate, because their eyes are so stimulated by having all these images and all these things. Their ears are so stimulated by hearing all these other noises that they've become so attached to and they really enjoy, that when their ears listen to Part, or when they see a Guru Sikh, when they come to Gurdwara, have Guru's Darshan, they're not stimulated by these things. Okay, a lot of youngsters are not stimulated by these things because their eyes are stimulated from other things. Okay. So this is why, like I said, when they're doing Simran, or when that's the litmus test really, when they're doing Simran, when they're doing Part, where does their mind go? Their mind goes there. And the kids know it as well. I said that, why was he thinking about that other thing when he should have been thinking about Waheguru? And said that, oh, because he spends a lot of time doing it. So obviously, they know. So this is how a lot of youngsters nowadays, they're feeding their sensory organs. And then what does that lead to? There's a Shabd in Gurbani which talks about these different pleasures, like Rasa Soina, Rasa Rupa, Kaman, Rasa Paramalaki Vasa. So the words that Guru Sahib has used here in terms of gold, silver, women, obviously women is talking about males or females in terms of a relationship. Guru's talking about the pleasures of relationships, the pleasures of gold and silver, the pleasures of different smells. Guru Sahib talks about the smell of sandalwood. Raspore, the kore is like obviously a form of transport. So the rasa of different cars, having different cars, the rasa of having different nice houses or different beds and really nice comfortable beds and that kind of thing. So this obviously they can apply to people. And the rasa of having sweet treats, and Guru Sahib says rasa mas, the rasa of wanting to have eat meat as well. All these different ras, the person become all these different tastes. Remember I was talking to you about the computer games, that if Guru Sahib was compiling that, I guarantee you computer games will be mentioned, honestly. So that's computer games that say there. So where Guru Sahib is talking about all these different ras, like how our sensory organs have become stimulated by all these different things, then Guru Sahib says that these pleasures for the human body, there's loads and loads of pleasures. Where are you going to put naam? Where's that person going to feel that they need to do Simran? Where's that person going to feel the need that they have to do Part? That they wake up, you guys are lucky, you've woken up, honestly. Me included, we've woken up. We've woken up and seen the world for what it is. The world is just rasa, this kind of unrasa everywhere. The useless rasas that where they're just there. I'll give you an example. Say for example you go on holiday. Now you go on holiday, and I don't know those of you that have been on holiday recently, but say for example you go to a resort. Now you get to the holiday, you paid like £2,000 to get to that holiday, and then when you get there, say, oh, you can go on this safari, but you have to pay like £200. Okay, go there. Oh no, oh you can eat at this restaurant, you can eat here, and they say, but it's this much money. Okay, you can eat there, and then you go there, and then you go this place, and they go, oh, this costs this much, and then you can do it. Or you can go on a boat ride, it costs £100 or something like that. And this is how it is. We're getting all these ras from everywhere else, and we're just wasting our lives away like that. We're just wasting our holiday away. Okay? So we're doing all these other things. But I see the theatre that we're going to stay in a hotel, and then we're not even spending no time in a hotel. So in that way, Guru Sahib is saying that we come here for a different reason. Remember the reason I said right at the beginning, but we get in touch with, this is the lalach that Guru Sahib is talking about. Naam visar lage an lalach. All these ras are lalach. Okay, these temptations, are lalach. That's what Guru Sahib is talking about. So how is that person going to feel that they need naam, they need to have simran, they need to have part? All that dunyavi ras vich fase they're worldly ras. I always remember this talk that I heard on from Khalsa camp about 7 years ago. And the person was talking about there's a person who's sitting on a bench and they're really upset. They look really down, and someone comes up to them and says, "Why are you upset for? Why are you so down?" He says that, "Oh, I've got so many problems. My wife's going to leave me. I need because I haven't been able to pay the mortgage. I desperately need some money. Otherwise, we're going to get kicked out. My kids are going to get kicked out of school. I've got so many problems." And they say, "Oh, okay then." He says that there's this garden. Because if you walk down there a little bit, there's this garden that if you go up to it, it's full of like different jewels and money and all these different wonderful things. All you have to do is just get them and then stay there for the night. You can only spend one night there. Stay there, and then you can come out, and then you'll be all right. And then he thought, "No, what are you talking about? So there was a garden with jewels in it. What are you talking about?" So, but the guy had a really serious look on his face. So he thought, "Jalla, okay, I'll believe him." So he took the banda to the garden. So he said that, okay, so you go into this garden, you have to stay here, you only can spend a night here, and you gather as much wealth as you can, but I'll say one thing, there's going to be a lot of people trying to distract you, and there's going to be a lot of different things that you might get drawn into, okay? So be careful. Because I've got all these problems, how am I going to get distracted by all these things? I know what I need to do. I need to get all this money, so I need to pay my mortgage, I need to stay in my house, whatever. Okay, I'm not going to get distracted, don't worry. But just in case, I'll send a warning sign to you halfway through the night to remind you, okay? So the banda goes in, he goes into this garden, and then he starts getting all these different jewels together and everything. And firstly, he starts to smell because the garden is like this massive courtyard, it's really nice with lots of flowers everywhere, so he starts smelling the flowers. Starts smelling all these flowers, and then he thinks, "Oh, what am I doing?" And then he starts collecting all the jewels again. He's got this big bag, he's collecting all these jewels and all these different money and stuff. And the banda said to him just before, he goes that, "By the way," he goes, "when you come out," he goes, "can you give me your first bag of jewels, and all the other ones you can keep." He goes, "I just want your first bag, and then all the other ones you can keep." So he went further in. He went further into the garden, and then some people started coming up to him. They started talking to him and stuff. And then he was ignoring them, and then slowly he started talking to them because he didn't want to be rude. And then they started talking about lots of different things. And then he saw some other people over there, and they were like having a party, and they was trying to encourage him to go to the party. He goes, "Come on, let's go to the party." And then he says, "Oh no, I've got other things to do. I've got to sort something out." He goes, "No, come on, Jack." So he thought, "Jack, I'll go to the party for a bit." So he went there. And then he heard this call when he was there. He goes, "Hey, you've only got a certain amount of time left. Yeah? You've only got a certain amount of time left." So then he thought, "Oh my God," and he left the party. And then he started gathering his jewels again. And then someone else called him and everything. And then before he knew it, he was just talking to them, and then the night had ended, and he came out with this one bag of jewels. One bag of jewels. And that bag of jewels, that Bandil, the one that said to him that, "Oh, I'll have your first bag." And what's the purpose of that story? You might think it's a bit of a weird story, but this is how our life is. This whole story is a story of a person's life. Okay? We come into this world. We do ardas to Akal Purkh that Sanu, protect us, and we're doing Simran in our mother's womb. Save us, yeah? And then we come out into the world, and ras sare passe, everywhere. Ras here, ras there, ras. Okay? All these different things, and we become distracted. The thing that we came to do, after a little while, we forget. Then we're reminded, we come to the Gurdwara, we see people, that kind of thing. We're encouraged to, let's start some part, let's start doing some similar or something. But then we get distracted again, and before you know it, our time's come, and that's it. And what we leave with? Nothing. So Guru Sahib saying that we get caught in all these different ras. So where are we going to put Simran? Where are we going to put Akal Purkh? And this is a good one. There's a shabd in Sri Dasam Granth. Guru Gobind Singh Ji says, "Natak chetak kiye kukaja prab logan ke avat laja." Now, this shabd, what used to happen in the olden days, obviously in the Guru Nanak Dev Ji's time, they never used to have TV, or Guru Gobind Singh Ji's time, they never used to have TV. I just want to make that clear. If any of you thought they used to have TV, then they didn't. Okay. What they used to have instead is that they used to have these groups of actors, and they used to go to different bins, and they used to act out different like scenes and stuff, like do plays, like you have pantomimes and all that kind of thing. They used to do that like kind of plays. And Guru Sahib saw this. He used to see this. They were called Natak Chetak, by the way. They used to call Natak Chetak. These different plays, dramatical plays. And Guru Sahib saw how people's like transfixed by what's happening. Like, look at all these people. They're so engaged with like all these things that people are doing. Oh, that's mother-in-law's having that problem with her daughter-in-law. Oh, this is happening, that's happening. And they were so engaged with these things. And Guru Sahib wrote this shabd. Forget about all this, these drama things, all this mimicry, all these actions these people are doing. Forget about this natak chetak, Guru Sahib said that. Guru Sahib gave a warning to his Guru Sikh, don't even engage in these things. Guru said that the devotees of the Lord feel ashamed even to mention these malpractices. So Guru Sikh even feels ashamed to even do gal about drama, what happened. Ki gal hui in the drama. Guru Sikh even feels ashamed to even talk about it. That's what Guru Sahib said. A Guru Sikh should feel ashamed anyway. So Natak Chetak, they're the drama plays. Now if you look at how today's taken off, you know Star Plus before, it used to be that pretty like dead channel, but when they start putting the drama on there, that's it, flocked it then. All the auntie. You honestly, you go to auntie's house, I'm not joking, you go to auntie's house, yeah, you know you get them where you've recorded on Sky Plus, you go there and you see all like Shanti, all these other ones, there's all the drama in there. Because you know what, because the kids don't let them watch it first, so they say, mid-recording like it, and then when the kids are upstairs or doing something else, they watch it then and that. Chori chori. And my mum does that as well. So when my daughter comes round, she knows my daughter, one of my cartoons, and then so she said, oh, maybe go in like it, and then she was after she watches it after. And so Guru Sahib says that the Guru Sikh even feels sharam that even talking about these drama and that, even talking about Natak Chetak. Because I've seen Amritari ladies that you talk to them and they're watching drama, they can't hear what you said. They can't even hear. You try and shout at them to the other side of the room, they can't even hear. As Amritari woman's got Gatraka Pan on, as watching drama, and then she can't even hear what you're saying. I think that if your mind like was that much into Bart for like even 5 seconds, that's it. You'll be such kind. Your body your soul will leave your body like that. If you was into Bart that much that you can't even hear what someone else is saying, someone's shouting at you, you can't even hear. So this is why we're getting all this rust from these other things that where we should be getting the rust from. That becomes like tasteless. Okay, and there's not just obviously Indians, not just Indian drama. It's obviously the English ones as well. And then you think the kind of things that happen. Nowadays, these kind of dramas, they all sell themselves on how they are able to stimulate the mind. They're all about stimulating the mind because they want you to remember it and they want you to go to work and talk to some auntie about it. And then that auntie starts watching. That's how dramas, that's how they increase their popularity, because the auntie talk about at work, they talk about Gurdwara, that's it. They don't even need adverts. They just got the auntie talking about it and that's it. And so Guru Sahib saying that these kind of things, Guru Sikh doesn't engage in these kind of things. Guru Sikh doesn't watch these things. They get their enjoyment, because this is why, you know, a lot of problems happen with the sas and the nom, the daughter-in-law and the mother-in-law. Because if you look at their programs, I'm actually like I watch loads of them. When I go to my mum's house, she has it on. So I thought I try to do talks now. Therefore, Master use some of the material. And so it's all about the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law. They got the problem going on. And they're all like all dressed up and all that kind of thing, walking around home, like just woke up and just got all this crack and suit on there. What's going on there? I thought it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, it should be your pyjamas. Yeah, so they're all like dressed up and everything. And but if you look at even like nowadays, like EastEnders at this bar club, yeah, like really, really bad, like Bandar sleeping with his daughter, all these kind of messed up things and that kind of. So all these things, firstly, obviously the anti-Gurmat and that a lot of people, these things are doing. But the other thing is that when we watch these things, we become, we start to think these things are acceptable in society. You know how things have changed in like people having, even Gursikh now having parties at their weddings and having sharab, all these kind of things, and and people not caring about if their kids marry into different religions and that kind of thing. These kind of things have happened mainly as a result of these kind of programs who think that is not issue, and Bollywood as well. Obviously, Bollywood, you can have a Muslim person marrying and this person, that kind of thing, doesn't matter. Okay, so that's why society has started to think that auntie that watch these films, and people and uncles that watch these films, they've started to think that that's acceptable in society. So, and Bhagat Kabirji says a really interesting thing about Sangat in his Bani. Bhagat Kabirji talks about you got a banana bush, so you got bananas in the bush, yeah, and the next to the bananas you have a thorn bush. And Guru Bhagavad says that in Gurdwara, he says that what happens is when the wind blows, this thorn bush pricks against this a banana. Now, if you cut open a banana a little bit, then you just leave it there. It goes gulliya, and really quickly it starts to you can't really eat it after a little while. And Bhagavad talks about this is the sangat. If you do sangat of a person who's not interested in God, like an atheist or something. I'll give you a story about it in a second. If you go sangat with an atheist or someone who's not really interested in God and they're more interested in worldly thing, Guru Sahib says that this is what's going to happen to us as well. They're going to prick us like that, and before we know it, we're going to be like that as well, gully, inside. So Guru Sahib says, "Sakat sangana here." Don't try to not associate yourself with these kind of faithless people that are just there to try to get you into their own ways. Now you might think that, we have to sort of like do something with everyone because we want to try and encourage people to Sikhi. Well, what I'd say is that it's down to a person's own individual judgment. If you're talking to this person and you know that they're not interested in Sikhi at all, then why we don't really need to waste our time talking about Sikh here. So that's why I said to you that I'm prepared to come here from 200 odd miles from here, from where I live, because I know that there's a lot of potential here in the Sangha. So I thought I'm prepared to give my time out, whatever, to talk to people and try to give a bit of understanding and hopefully a bit of encouragement in the Sikhi. So Guru Sahib says that we should be very, very careful about who we hang around with, because there was this Amritari Gosik, and then Manveer Singh was telling me a story, and he was saying that he went to some camp or something, I think it was in Germany, and he met this Amritari Gosik, and right at the beginning of the camp, the Gosik came up to him, and he says, and he goes Amrit and everything, and he says to him, Baji, are you 100% sure that God exists and stuff? Are you 100% this Amritari does Amritullah as well? Are you 100% sure that God exists? And he said, why are you asking such a stupid question? That you got a gatra and everything, because no, what happened was I was reading this article on the internet, and it was of an atheist website. I was reading it, and it really got me thinking, and I don't know, I just kind of started doubting things and stuff. It wasn't even an article, he read one line from that article. He read one line from that article, and then he started doubting. But after a little while in the camp, in a few days, he started getting more sort of assured. And then by the end of the camp, he said, "Sorry, I asked such a silly question, obviously." So this is the. But however, look, Sangha's not just hang around with people. Sangha can be what you're reading. Sangha can be what you're watching on the TV. These kind of things, like I said, coming back to the kind of programs that we're watching on TV. It all comes back to stimulating our mind. Remember I told you that 80% of the information that goes into our brain comes from what we see with our eyes, yeah? Okay. So, think about feeding our mind. So we're feeding our mind. You got the Atma and you got the Man. So when you're not feeding the Atma, it's just an example. It becomes very, very small, obviously. Because like, I showed you a picture of Fat Albert before. So obviously, if you're feeding your mind, then your mind will become bigger, bigger, bigger. And how can we feed our soul? Anyone, how can we feed our soul? Anyone? How can we feed our soul?
By
doing Simran. Okay, very good. Anything else? How else can we feed our soul? I'm going to pick up. No one's going to sit at the front next time. No one's going to sit at the front next time. How do you respond? Singh? How can we feed our soul? Simran, Kirtan. Okay, very good. Katha, Hanji. Listen to Katha, listen to Guru Sahib's Vadiyai. Yeah? So these things are all going to be feeding our soul. And then when we're feeding our mind, okay, I'll give you loads of examples already. What's feeding our mind then? How do you was feeding our mind?
Football.
Okay, football. Pleasing our mind, watching football. We're feeding our mind with these images, that kind of thing. I think the other thing is that, you know, when I may be coming across that we shouldn't be doing anything other than Bart and Simran and that kind of thing. I don't want to be too hardcore. What I want to say is that we have to be, because I was saying to the kids as well, I said, I'm not saying you shouldn't play computer games or you shouldn't watch cartoons or that. I'm saying just be careful how much you're doing it and how much that, and remember that stuff is going into your mind. Okay? And how much you're doing it. If you're doing it too much, and people know if they're doing things too much. Okay? If you're doing it too much, and be careful. That's the only thing I say, be careful. Eh? I'm not telling you to stop doing things. It's just a matter of doing it to a certain level, so it's not having a huge impact on your life. Because you got footballers up there, they sort of want to be like footballers. Now there's no Singh footballers, so what they do is they maybe put their jewel out the back, start playing football and that, because no one wants to no one wants to get a Singh footballer, so they put their jewel out the back and that, and they put a do-rag on. So. The reason why, and also the role models of these football players, and what they're doing. They're making racist remarks, they're having affairs, all these kind of things. This is why a lot of societies has problems, and youngsters have problems because mums and dads are too busy working, and then gone are the days where the parents are the role models. Gone are the days where the parents, very, very, very rarely are parents role models nowadays. Because they don't spend enough time with their kids. So who's the role models? The role models are people on TV, role models are people that their friends, they become their role models. That's why it's very, very dangerous, the kind of time where they spend their time. So, then you've got feeding the soul. If we feed the soul as the things that we mentioned before, obviously our mind will become less, smaller and smaller. Or that we'll say the influence of our mind will become smaller and smaller because we're not feeding with all these us. And our soul will become bigger in terms of how much it can influence us. So we'll feel more encouraged to want to do Simran, we'll feel more encouraged to want to do Bart. I was talking to this Gursikh, and we was at a camp, and we were sitting upstairs in one of the rooms, and there was quite a few of us, and one Gursikh asked the question, how do you know if your love for Vaheguru is increasing? How do you know if it's increasing, or how do you know if it's decreasing? And it was a bit of a difficult question, because some older Gursikhs were trying to answer it, and then he didn't really understand. But then one Gursikh said that if you feel that you want to do more Simran and you want to do more Bart, you're sitting at home, whereas before you were sitting at home, and now before you want to watch something, watch TV or something, and now you feel that you just want to do Bart, or you feel that you want to get the Vajra and do Kirtan, or you feel you want to do something Sikh related, that means that your love for Vaheguru is increasing. That if the more time you're spending doing something, that means that your love for that thing is increasing. Just like if you're spending more time watching, playing computer games or something, then that means that your love for that thing is increasing. The same like Vaheguru. So if our amount of time that we spend focused on Guruji is increasing, and our interest is increasing inside us, and all we want to do is Sikhi, want to come Gurdwara. Parents thinking you're mad is a good example as well. That's a good indicator if your Sikhi is increasing, so your parents think they're mad, and that kind of thing. So let's look at that. What we have to try to do, is if we bombard our mind with Sikhi. Now, I've got a Sikh channel, Sunday TV as well. I've got Sunday TV, but Sikh channel there. But obviously, be a bit careful about what programs you watch on that, because I know what times. So, Bart, Simran, Ardas, Kirtan, I watched recently the Bhai Sahib by Sabha Singh animation film. It's very, very good. Very, very inspirational film. These films are not just made for kids. They're made for kids, but also made for that lost generation who didn't get Sikhi when they were younger because their parents were too busy and stuff, and then they went into school and then everyone forgot about their Sikhi principles. So these are the kind of things that we need to try to do, spending more of our time doing. Now like I said, this is all about food for thought. This is all about you thinking about where we're spending our time, where we're dedicating our time. Can we perhaps take a bit of time out of here and spend it there? Can we perhaps take more, make more time, free up more time to do some more good Sikhi stuff? Alternatively, remember I said to you right at the beginning, our lives, what is our life? Wake up in the morning, take kids to school, all that kind of thing. Well, I know people who are trying to come to Gursikhi. What they do is when they're taking the kids to school, they'll do a Japji Sahib part, or they'll do Mool Mantar in the car until they get to school, or they'll have Kirtan on. And in the morning, they'll sit down to do some part or something with the kids. When they're combing the kids' hair, they're doing Mool Mantar, or they're doing Simran, or they're doing a Shabd. These kind of things. When they get to work, they've got maybe pictures of Gursikh on their desktop on their computer or something, or they've got some part on there, or they on next to their desk, or on their desk they've got pictures of them with Gursikh or something like that, or they've got some Gurbani quote or something like that. Okay, you know, like I used to work for this company, and there was this bunda. He used to have this little model of a Porsche. It was a little car, and he used to have it on his on top of his screen, TV monitor thing, for his computer. And people used to ask him, "Oh, why have you got that?" He said, and then he used to say that this is the reason why I work. I want to get that car because that's my motivation, that I'm working. So every time I look at that car, it makes me think that every time I'm feeling down and I look at that car, I remember what's my target. I'm going to get that car. I'm going to get that car. That Gursikh. So we look at Gursikh, and we have pictures of Gursikh, or maybe on our phone. See, I think some older Gursikh, and I think that they don't realise they've become like supermodels as well. They're on people's phones and people's desktops and that kind of thing. They've become like supermodels. So in that way, we make our work environment more Gursikhi ready. Or like I say, if you walk into school or college or something, you're listening to Bart, you're listening to Kirtan, and when you're walking down the street, or if you're on the bus or something, you're listening to Kirtan, listening to Bart. And then when you get to college or whatever, you try to, it's very important obviously that you try and do as much Simran as possible, that they do Vaheguru in your mind as well. But even at lunch times, break times, we're at work, try to do more Simran, and then before you know it, you think to yourself that, you know what, I'm starting to spend more and more time this way. I'm starting to spend more and more time doing Simran, starting to spend more and more time doing Bart. And that is you bombarding your mind of Sikhi, and then before you know it, all these other ras, that the dunyavi ras, the worldly ras, sab visre, they all go. Jahar vaseman ai. When we start to get Vaheguru come more into our mind, when we allow Vaheguru come more into our mind, then that's where we can come more into our thoughts, and all these other ras they'll go. There's one story I was just thinking of. Bhai Sahib from Leicester used to say it. He sent it to me a few times, and also shared it in different camps as well. He said there's this man, he's walking down the street, and he's walking down the street and he sees God on the street. And it's not a true story, by the way, obviously. So he meets God on the street, and he says to him, "Oh God, I've been looking for you. Can you come down my house?" And then God says, "Oh, all right then." So I was a bit busy, but I had to go do it all at the Gurdwara. No, he didn't say that. He said that I was a bit busy, but he said, I'll come to your house. So then the banda is really happy, like he's skipping back to his house, really happy. And then he gets back to his house, and then God's there, and God says, "Oh, remember, just before you go," and he goes, "You better make room for me here, because there's no room for me inside." He goes, "Oh, 1 minute, okay, let me just make some room." You know when like these birthday sant come and that? I remember once they would come to my parents' house. This birthday sant, they come, and the first they get the jinn to go inside, they go inside and goes, oh, where are you gonna see him? Because I'll get the chadar out, and you have to put the chadar on the sofa and that, because you can't sit on a normal sofa, it has to sit on one with the chadar on it. And then where's the Sangha going to sit? Oh, the Sangha's going to sit here, okay. So have you made pakore, samosa, all that kind of thing? And then the Baba, he just sits down, he's on his phone most of the time anyway. So anyway, yeah. Takes me back to the fast now. Anyway, so God was saying to him that, I lost your trail of thought. Okay, God was saying to him that, okay, you better make some jaga for me today, make some room for me. So the Banda went inside and that, and then in his living room where he was going to sit God, he saw there was 5 kings sitting there. They were on 5 thrones. 5 kings on 5 thrones. And he said to these 5 kings, right, on your bike, innit? God's come now, so can you go? And then they said, oh, no, we're not going anywhere. We've been there for ages. We've been there for ages. If God's just come now, you don't want, we'll stay here. And then what happened, they started playing around with him. So like one went out, and then he come back in through the back. And then the other one went out, and then before he knew it, he was arguing with them, and then before he knew it, God had gone. So these 5 kings obviously are Panchachor, yeah? Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Hankar. These things, we come to the Gurdwara, or we want to get Waheguru into our lives, and we do a bit part in that, but we still make these 5 into Raja in our house. We try to get them out. They're not going to leave just like that. Like I said, they've been there for ages. They were there when we were dogs, when we were elephants, whatever. They've been there since all that time. So they're not just going to go like that. They're going to take some time. Okay? So this is why I said that. So we're spending more time in these kind of things, then hopefully Guru Sahib says that Sa rasna tan tan hai meri jindagi gun gaave har prabh kere ram. That rasna, that tongue becomes blessed when it sings the praises of Akal Purkh. Similarly, there's many shabds if you have in you. I see Allah in you, I see God in you. And he said that your eyes must be so blessed that you can see God in someone like me. Because I want to have your eyes. He goes that your eyes are so blessed. So that showed that obviously Bhai Sahib's nimrata as well, his humility. But also, this is how we need to try to become that when we see Akal Purkh everyone. We don't think people as this person's low, this person's high. I was at South Gurdwara a few days ago on Saturday or something, often on Friday, and there was this person doing Gatha, and he was talking about Jat Path, he was talking about caste, and he goes, Guru Sahib says that my Guru Sikh, they don't have any Jat, they don't have any caste. He goes, so those people that have caste, they must not be Sikh then. Those people that got Jat. So those people that say that I'm this Jat, that kind of, Guru Sahib says, Hamri Jat Path Guru Sadgur Ham Vechi Sir Guru Ke. So if we give our Sir to Guru, then Sadgur ko Jat Path, we haven't got any Jat Path. Okay? And finally, blessed are those hands that write Gurbani, that write the praises of Akal Purkh. Okay? Some Guru Sikh have had the pleasure of done the Mahan Seva, actually writing their own Guru Granth Sahib Swarup. Master Narenjit Singh from Canada, America. He's written his own Ladiwa Swarup of Guru Granth Sahib. So blessed are those hands that write Gurbani, but also blessed are those hands that do Jangi Karam as well. I think it's by Gurdas Ji Vara, it says without doing seva, these hands and these feet, they're cursed. They're cursed because we're just doing wrong things with them. We're not doing seva with them. And always, also in terms of the hands, I always remember the Sakhi that when Guru Gobind Singh Ji asked for some water from the Sangat, he said, ask the member of the Sangat, try to get him some water. And this person stood up, and then he washed the glass, washed his hands and everything, and bought Guru Sahib some water. And Guru Sahib looked at his hands. He looked at his hands and he said that with these hands, because your hands are very nice, but with these hands, have you ever done the seva of the Sangat? And he said, no, I don't really need to. Because have you ever done seva with your parents or with your family? He goes, no, I don't need to. We got a lot of knocker at home and stuff. We got a lot of servants at home, so I don't really need to. He goes, in that case, I can't eat from those or can't drink from those hands that never done seva of the Sangat and that kind of thing. So that's how highly Guru Sahib talked about service and it doesn't matter if you're like rich or really rich or really poor or whatever, that's a must that you have to do seva of the Sangha. And so on that note, I just wanted to take it back to, not that album. Just wanted to take it back to this. So, think about where we're stimulating our bodies from, our sensory organs, our eyes, our ears, our nose, our hands, okay? And are they in line with Gurmat, are they in line with Gursikhi, or are they perhaps taking us away from Gursikhi? Because, like I said, with the kids, they get very led astray by the things that I mentioned before. By these things. Society nowadays, youngsters getting very led astray by these things. So the amount of time that we allocate to these kind of things, the amount of time that we dedicate to these kind of things, we need to try to reduce that. Otherwise, like I said, when we're trying to do Simran, we're trying to do some serious Kamai, then it's not going to let us focus and it's going to just take our mind away. Okay, any questions? Don't think you Bradford will ask any questions. But I'll wait for questions. Someone has to ask one. Any questions? Hanji?
Do you think Maya's got stronger?
That's a good question. The question was, do you think Maya's got stronger as time has gone on? Who else? Can't remember. I was talking to someone about a similar thing. That as one thing that Bhai Sahib from Leicester, he says that he came on stage. I don't know whether it's a good thing to say. He goes, but you know the youngsters nowadays. He said, I feel so sorry for you. I feel so sorry for you. There's so much temptation everywhere. Wherever you look, you're doing some part, you're driving down the road, there's some dodgy billboard up on the road. You're driving down the road and you see some people having a fight and you see, stop watching them have a fight. All these kind of things, there's so many things to distract you, to take you away from what you're supposed to be doing. Suddenly, people's responsibilities have become huge. You know, people are working a lot more now because they want to get more money, because their kids have more desires. Because why do the kids have more desires? Because they're spending more time watching and getting involved in all these different cartoons, and they want all the characters, and then the companies are advertising to them, so the kids want these things, so the parents having to work more. The family relationship time has reduced hugely. Okay? It's a media sort of run world. So if you have a look at, media can make a banda into a king, and next minute he's like nothing. Okay? 1 minute he's like, everyone respects the person, and next minute, Goshni. That's a media-controlled world, and this because people have become so dependent on the media and they believe everything that the media says, then that's a bit of a problem. We have that problem in Gursikhi as well. Whereas, I'll give you an example. I had a look at someone sent me this article from the Guardian. And there was a picture of, Harvinder Kaur Khalsa, the Goli Singhani, that she used to be Alexander Aiken, and then she took Amrit, and I think she's changed the name to Uttarang Kaur Khalsa now. But what happened was, there was a photo taken of her walking to Anandpur Sahib, where she lives in India, and she was wearing bana and everything, and the star and all that kind of thing, and she was wearing that when she was walking down the street. And they took a picture of that, and they had two pictures, her like that, and her picture as how she used to be, like really short, tight, short shorts, and and she's drunk at some nightclub or something. And you know what? I looked at that, and then I looked down at the comments that people said. They goes, "Oh, look how she looks now. She looks like a bloody idiot." She goes, "Look, she looks like an idiot now." So. And I was thinking, and then some people were making some racist comments about how she looks like. I think no one commented that, oh, look how respectably she's dressed now in comparison to how she was before. So this is the challenges that we face, and this is the challenges that our youngsters face, because we are supposed to look like that. We're supposed to be those people that go to clubs and pubs and stuff like that, and we're supposed to be those kind of people that fit into society. But like when I went to, I think it was the 84 March once, there's some kids that have a T-shirt on, it says, born to be different. Born to be different. We're born to be different. We follow our Guru's path, we don't follow anyone else's path. Okay? But society will try, like I said, that the power of the media has increased hugely. And so that is why people might feel that that Maya has increased as well. Because everywhere you look now, whatever you do, it's all Banjor. Banjor are the Raja, they're the kings, Banjor. Wherever you go, Banjor. You have a look at people's lives. Why do they do things? They do things but mainly because of Banjor. Very, very few people have even anything other than Banjor in their lives. Very few people. Why do they behave nicely to their boss for? Why do they appear to be humble to their boss for? Because they want a pay rise or they want their boss to like them. What are these things? This is all about greed and all about... So, Guru Nanak Dev Ji says that not even one of our actions should be Banjor. When I talk to some kids at uni, at college about these kind of things, I say, you know, I start talking about Banjor and stuff, and I say that, can you think of any of your actions which are don't fit into these categories? And they try to give me some and say, oh, that fits into that category, that fits in this category. But I say that, can you imagine someone living a life that they do, every action they do, none of their actions fall into this category? Because that's impossible. But iya Guru Sikhi, that's Guru Sikhi, this path that the world thinks is impossible to follow, but our Guru's made it easy for us. All we have to do is follow what our Guru says. Any other questions? Hanji first.
What changed your Bhai Sahib?
I knew someone was going to ask about me. I was a Monna, and I went to, I had cut hair and everything. And I went to this Kirtan program. And no, first I was at home, and then my mum said, there's some people talking on some Punjab radio channel. And she said, oh, listen to it and stuff. So I started listening to it, and it was Manveer Singh. I never knew who he was then. So I didn't know he was like world superstar. But he wasn't then. He'd just recently taken Amrit and that, and then he just, I rung them up. I rung up Punjab Radio and I said that, do you have, because I could play a bit of tabla because I used to be a dole player. So I said to them that, do you have any Kirtan programs and stuff? And I said, because I can play a bit of tabla, I go, you know, if you got any programs and stuff, I'll come. And then they told me about this Kirtan program. And I said to the guy, when I met him at the Kirtan program, I said, oh yeah, I was the one who spoke to you on the phone. He goes, oh, you're the one who wants to start your own group and that. I thought, what are you talking about? I said, no, I don't want to start. And then anyway, that day, I met Manveer Singh and I met some other Gursikh as well. And we sat down, we just talked. And I thought to myself, here's a Gursikh, he's dressed like in Bana and everything. And here's me, I've got an orange rumal on, and I'm sitting here with jeans and everything. And we're so alike. We're so alike. We have such a similar understanding. I said, this is like weird, isn't it? I mean, how can that be that I'm like, I have cut hair now, but I have such a similar understanding to a Gursikh. So there may be people sitting here that are in the same position, that they have cut hair or whatever, but they have that same sort of, you know. And then Guru's Kidpa, you know, when after that, I started trying to spend more time contacting Sanghas. So I used to email and stuff and go to Gurdwara and that. And then I remember when I first tied the star on my head. And I was going to go to this program, and then my brother, he started making jokes and stuff, and they started chasing me out the door with their phone. They said, we're going to put you on the internet, your picture. And but from that day on, they knew that I wasn't going to back down now. They knew that I wanted to go this way. And then so it was just the Sangha there. The Sangha changed me. And then from there, I realised that, because I never used to be in teaching then, but I realised that it's very important in Gursikhi that if you learn something, that you have to share it. You have to, that's very important. If you learn something, just like if you learn something today, you have to share it with people. That's very, very important. And Guru's very, very happy when you share something that helps someone else. Very important. There's a saying that a candle doesn't lose anything by lighting another candle. So that's how good Sikh should be to help other people along the path, or to I remember when I come Bradford camp, I learned so much from the Sangat here, that I could put into my own life and stuff. And some of the stuff that I've heard from the kids in Bradford camp, I use that in camps now. I still use that in camps now. So it was just the Sangat's pyar and that like, remember, I used to find like so much dust in all these other things, but the Sangat, the pyar of the Sangat, that rust just wiped, there's like a big wave that just wiped all this other stuff out. And then that's it, I just changed from that bus. And then it's just Guru's kripa, you just follow the path, and then Guru does it. Guru takes you here, there, everywhere. Guru will show you the world, Guru shows you all the good Sikh of that. And that pyar that you have, that Sangat has, isn't it? Like you can go to Bradford, you can go to another country and that. People don't even know you, people don't even know who you are, but they laugh at you, and then people next to you say, oh, how do you know that person? You don't know them. I remember once I was wearing Bana, when Singh was doing a talk in Leicester University, I was walking there, my brother's got cut hair, and he was walking next to me. I just wanted him to come to see the talk. And everyone, when I was walking in their place, everyone kept putting their head down like that, putting their head down and playing foot doing that. And then I was doing the same, and they said, oh, how do you know him? I said, I don't know him. I said, how do you know him? I go, I don't know him. I've never seen them before, innit? And then they were shocked that people like that they have that much respect for you, and they don't even know you. So, Guru, that's Guru Sahib. Guru's Bara, the Ustad of Guru's Bara, the Vijay of Guru Sahib. That Jo disse Guru Sikh karate this never lagu paiji. That you put your head down and you fall that Guru 6 figure. So that kind of, when you feel that pyar from the Sangha, that pyar is bigger than a mother's pyar to their child. That pyar is that, then you know that you die for Guru Sikh in an instant, because that's how Guru Sikh is. Anything else? Any other questions? Well, next time, what I'll do is I'll talk to the other Singhs, and then we'll try to make it a bit more interactive, because we kind of get an understanding of how many people are going to come, and then we'll try to put it into more, like definitely my class next time, I'll make it more interactive. But this one was purely about getting you a little bit of understanding about the challenge that we face, and give you a bit of food for thought, that when we go home, we have to look at our daily routines and what we're doing in our lives, and how much time we're spending in different things, and how is that, what asar is that having, what impact is that having on our lives and our thinking and what we're doing. Because, I often see kids at college, and then how they walk with their bent down. Even I see that our brother sings and that. Walking around bent down. How see you guys bent down that? But when you look at what music he listens to like Kala music. He's even a K-style sings, listens to Kala music, and that's why it's bent down. So I think that's comes as a standard. You have to put your bent down if you listen to Kala music. All right, but what's happened? They've seen these videos, they've seen these music videos, and then that's got into their minds. They see it with their eyes, and then they want to look like these people, and they want to behave like these people. This is why they're swearing and stuff. I was shocked here. This is going to make you laugh, but it's also going to get you a bit worried. I was on the internet and on YouTube, and I typed in Manveer Singh because I wanted to see one of his talks. And there was this comedian called Manveer Singh in America, and he was like swearing all over the place. I thought, what's going on here? He was a Singh. He was a Singh, and he was I wouldn't say try it yourself, honestly. I thought, this can't be Manveer Singh. So, yeah. So, unfortunately, there are obviously people that will go the opposite way. But the thing is, where does this come from? He's seen other comedians that he's made them into his role models, and then, Bishak, he's got Guru's Roop, doesn't matter. That's bad if he's got Guru's. Now, one thing my brothers might not be very into Guru Sikhi, but one thing they say to me is that the day I stop drinking, that's when I put a kara on my hand. So that's that. At least they got that much shraddha, and they got that much respect that they're not going to put kara on their hand until they stop drinking. Because the people that's like drinking and they're doing all these other putte things and stuff, then that Guru thinks less of them than he does. Even if they're Amrita, Guru thinks less of them than he thinks to this person who cuts their hair. But at least they have that much respect that they're not going to have any kind of symbol of Sikhi on them, unless they are actually doing at least a bit of what Guru Sahib says. Any other questions, or any final question? One last question. Should I pick on someone? Okay.
Okay, I'll ask a question.
Andy?
While we're talking about dramas, what came first with you, the knowledge or the outward manner? The outward attire or knowledge?
I always used to say that when I want to go to the Gurdwara, I always want to wear bana. I don't know why, I just had this thing inside me that I don't want to see my guru wearing like anything other than bana. That's just my own, I felt that personally inside me, that I don't want to come to Gurdwara and have anything else on, any other clothes. And so that's been quite from the outset that I've had the sort of image. But I think it has to come hand in hand, and that's how it came a bit with me. Once you get a bit of knowledge, then you start to try to apply it, innit? Because Guru Sahib says that Gurbani is not just for, it's not for reading. Gurbani is not for reading. Gurbani is not for listening to. Gurbani is for following. That's what Gurbani is for. Okay? But obviously before that, we have to be able to understand what Guru Sahib is saying. So that's why it came with me. I guess once I heard from Guru Sikh, because I made these Guru Sikh into my role models. Once I heard what they had to say, then I and how they lived their lives, then I wanted to live my life like that as well. Guru Sikh said that, okay, you know, when you go to programs, you should wear hajudiya and all that kind of thing. Then you should wear it. When you do Guru Sahib say we wear hajudiya, and then you that kind of thing, you wear bana. And then I said, I'll just take it as whatever Guru Sikh said. This is Guru Sahib talking to you, so you just follow that. So I guess as you go on the path, and with me it was like, it's like I said, the more you're spending time doing doing Sikhi things, the more knowledge you're getting anyway. You're getting more knowledge, more and more knowledge, more and more understanding. So if we're spending more and more time on these things, then we're going to get more and more understanding. We're going to get more and more knowledge, and then it's up to us if we want to follow it more or not. If we want to follow it, then we follow it. Like I said, I'm not, when I speak to Sangha, I don't have any formal real plan. I have PowerPoint, or I have a presentation, but I don't really have any plan what I'm going to say. You know, all I do is just, I do a das to Guru Sahib that, you know, you do the seva, and I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say, innit? I'll stand there and then you just talk, innit? I don't know what to say, I've got a presentation, but Jallo, whatever you say, and then and if the Sangha changes, then that's why I say that if anyone says that, oh, that was good talk, whatever, you know, I know that I didn't do anything, I didn't say anything, I just share some few good love with you. But if anyone gets affected or positively, whatever, then it's all Guru's video, it's all Guru Sahib's kirpa. That's the Guru Sahib does it themselves, where we can't do anything. We can just do ardas to Guru. But yeah, in terms of the knowledge, I mean, I don't have much, honestly, I don't hardly know much. I just know from what I learned from other people. And I just remember it, and then I just take it to Sangha. Like, a lot of the stories that I told you today, I've even said whose names that I've used them from. So I don't really know much, I just learned it from other people. And then that's how we all need to be as well. We just need to hear things, and we need to share that with other people, and then hopefully try to put these things into our lives and make our lives a bit better. Okay, so I think that's all the questions. But I just want to thank you for taking your time out on Sunday. I know once it's funny, I went to this Gurdwara, and when we was in Vijay, he was with me, and he took 3 hours to get there. It was in like South East London, he lives all around Oxford. And it took 3 hours to get there, and the auntie said that, oh, sorry, we can't give you any time today because it's Mother's Day, and everyone wants to go home and celebrate Mother's Day. And she even said on stage, which there's only 10 people in the Sangha anyway, goes, sorry, we can't give you much time today, it's Mother's Day, everyone wants to go home and celebrate Mother's Day. I thought, Chan. So, I don't know why I shared that story, but it's Sunday today, and I don't think it's Father's Day or Mother's Day, but thank you for taking your time out today and coming to listen to this. Like I said, you guys will make or break the class, however you want it to be. Today's, firstly I'll say, today has been obviously just a kind of formal talking, whatever, but in future it will be a lot more interactive, and we'll get you to do a lot more things. It was just purely about, like I said, giving a bit of food for thought, but at the same time seeing how many people are kind of interested, how many people want to turn up. And like I used to say this to the kids that I did a class to before, they say that, look, don't be afraid of changing. As long as what your change is in line with Guru Sikhi, don't be afraid. Okay? Because it's just Guru Sahib just blessing you. Now, if you don't want Guru Sahib's blessings, then there's loads of other places you can go. Yeah? But if you want Guru Sahib's blessings, then don't be afraid to feel the urge within you to want to change. Okay? And don't try to push it away either. Just try to let Guru Sahib take you where Guru Sahib's taking you. And then before you, because Guru Sahib's the one that we're going to see when we die anyway, hopefully. Well, that's what we want. That's what we want to get to. But other than that, you know, we can see the world, but when we're seeing the world and then we're old and grey, and our time comes, the world's not going to be there. Deen Goya Donisio, Dunina Chande Saat or something like that. That you waste your life away for the world, but the world is not going to go with you when you die. You're going to have to go by yourself. So, like I said, when you feel that inside, you experience that inside where you want to change, you want to start, I don't know, keeping your gears, you want to start doing part and that. Try not to push these away. Like I always use this example as a woman at my work, just to finish off. That she said to me that, Vijay, she's uppity, but she talks in a Cockney accent, and also she's half Hindu and half uppity. So she has a murti of Guru Nanak that she does puja to. I don't really say much to her about that because I don't want to get her upset, Bajari. So once she came up to me, Vijay, I don't understand what's happening to me. I keep waking up 4 o'clock and then I can't get back to sleep. I can't back to sleep. And he goes, I don't want to eat any meat anymore. I've been trying, but I just feel like puking up. He goes, I don't want to drink anymore. And I said, that's interesting. I said, and then she always says to me, I didn't drink all of the summer holidays. I said, that's nice. Now what is that? And then I said, have you started doing any any meditation or any part or anything? She said, actually no, I've started this meditation class. And I've started this meditation class, and since I've started that, I've started feeling a bit weird and that. She always tells me about all these things. She don't know nothing about Sikh history, but she always tells me, I had this dream, and what was happening, there was this guru, and then all these people were in this big Sikh temple, and then this was years and years ago. She got this vision, and she said that there was a loud call. Someone came back, the Mughals are coming, and everyone started getting ready with all their shastra. I thought, what's going on here? I thought, it's like a history lesson there. And she goes, do you know that? Have you heard that? I go, yeah, that sounds like Guru Arjan Dev Ji, that story, that one. So then it's proper, she's got some next good pound, I think. So, the reason why I'm saying is that because she, like I said, she done some similar and she started experiencing these changes, but Bajali, she don't know what it is, and then she's trying to go back to sleep when Guru Sahib telling her to wake up, innit? So I told her about doing similar. I go, when you wake up, innit, just do a bit of Vaheguru. And then she said, when I do that, it's just amazing. She goes that I really feel different. And she goes, I even tested it once. I tested it, and I said that if I say Vaheguru and this happens, then that's definitely right. And then it happened, and then that's it. She's got Antak Vishwas now. She got some really good Vishwas now, so she's Jaldi, she's going now. But the reason for saying that is, like I said, if you start experiencing some positive feelings that want to follow Sikhi more, then please don't hold it back. That's Guru Sahib Kirpa coming through. Baki that, I do a lot of talking, obviously. Sorry if I said anything to offend or upset anyone, particularly about drumming, but it's for our own benefit, hopefully. And hopefully we can all together try to encourage each other to get on the path more. Like I said, I didn't come from this far just to just to lecture you about things and how we should be. It's not about that. It's just about, I come here, my family's here, so I come to see my family and come to do galla with my family about our Guru. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa.